Hi friends, on today's episode, we're going to talk about KISS, keeping it simple, stupid. Man, that doesn't sound right. I don't like that. That sounds really, really mean to call somebody stupid. Let's see if we can change it. Keep it simple, silly. No, that sounds stupid. Oh. Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Tea with Jen Photography as we capture images of God's glory. And as I mentioned before, today's episode is going to be simple because it's going to be simplicity. It's going to be how we can keep our photography very simple and yet at the same time very beautiful. And we're going to explore this particular print that I was able to produce and how I was able to apply the famous acronym of keeping it simple, stupid, silly, whatever. We kept it simple. So, as you can see on this particular image, it is of a beautiful mute swan. And as you can see, it is the subject of the image. But at the same time, one of the things that made it very beautiful was the fact that that's really all that is in this image, but it is accompanied by a very beautiful atmosphere or a very beautiful background. Now, the background, once again, is very simple. You just have some of the cattails that are in the forefront of the background. That's kind of an oxymoron. Either you're in the forefront or you're in the background. Anywho, it is right behind the swan. But then you also have kind of like a background layer, if you will. So within the immediate background, you see the cattails, but then in the further background, you see some more of the wooded area. And so you kind of have a visual layer, if you will. You have the forefront of the image being the beautiful mute swan. Then right behind it, you have the layer of cattails. And then farther behind us, we have the rest of the woodland. So you have these layers, which they're simple, but at the same time, it's very interesting within this image. And then you see, once again, the mute swan as the main focal point. But then you also have a couple of techniques that are used within photography, being the rule of thirds. You see that the swan, although I could have waited until he got right smack dab in the middle of the scene, I found that it seemed like it would have been more interesting to let him be in the corner or at the rule of thirds, right in the lower part of the image. And I felt that that would have given this image more interest, and I think it did. And whenever you're using a rule of thirds, if you have an image, something that appears to be going in a direction, I find that it is more pleasing to the eye to have your rule of thirds consist of the space or the empty space being in the direction that the object is moving in. For an example, you see with the mute swan is looking towards the empty space. And so it just makes it more of a pleasing image when the image or the subject is looking towards or facing towards the image where it appears to be traveling. It draws the attention of the viewer towards the movement of the object, and in this case, the swan. It's just a psychological thing that our brain does, is that for some odd reason it wants to look in the direction that the object is facing. And since most of the interest of this particular image is towards the left of the image, and the swan is looking towards the left, our eyes just go towards that part of the image. And it's simple, and yet at the same time, it's beautiful. And one of the reasons why I like this particular print is because of the warm colors that it has. It's a lot of brown, it's a lot of green, and even the mute swan, although they tend to be white, this particular mute swan had a little brownish to it. So the colors as well kind of added for a very harmonious scene. At the same time, it was simple. So I wasn't really going for too much of a busy scene here. I wanted it to be something very simple and yet very, very beautiful. And I think we were able to succeed with this particular image. So my encouragement to you is that while you're out scouting areas and when you're looking for locations to shoot, keep it simple. Just find something that is beautiful and just capture that image and play around with the particular image that you're capturing, whatever your subject is. See if there's a way that you can capture it in a way that draws interest to it, but at the same time, keeping it very simple. I have found that some of the most simple images provide some of the most breathtaking results. And it's just beautiful. And all you see is that image, and it's not hard to do. And it just makes for a very pleasant image and a very pleasant experience for you, the photographer. It takes away a lot of the stress of having to walk away with an epic image with so much busyness going on in the scene. You can just relax. Take a simple image and just display the beauty of that particular image. And I think that's what we've done here. We've displayed the beautiful image of this mute swan, and the background just simply accompanies, or it just simply complements the beautiful swan, and you have a wonderful image. Well, if today's episode have been of some encouragement to you, then once again, leave a positive comment in the comment section below. Smash that like button and subscribe. And if you have had opportunity to implement some of the ideas that were discussed on today's episode, keeping it simple, then leave that too in the comment below so we can share in your journey and some of your success stories of how you were able to keep it simple. I guarantee you that simplicity, it's easy, but at the same time, very effective, especially when you want to produce a very beautiful piece of art with your photography. Go out there and enjoy shooting and just enjoy the process of capturing beautiful images right in your own backyard. Well, that's it on today's episode, and I hope that you go out there, shoot, and display the beauty of God's glory through the art of photography. Take care. It's good stuff.